I had always believed that my life was a series of ordinary days, a predictable sequence of work, home, and quiet solitude. But on a brisk autumn evening, as the sky deepened to a rich indigo, a series of unexpected app notifications shattered that sense of monotony. I was at home in my modest apartment on the edge of the city, curled up on the sofa with a book, when my phone began to buzz repeatedly. The notifications were unlike any I'd seen before, terse messages that confirmed a secret escape to a chic resort and an invitation to an intimate, decadent dinner. The texts were cryptic, each word laden with mystery, and they ignited in me a spark of rebellion I had long thought extinguished. At first, I assumed it was a glitch, some marketing tactic or a mistaken alert. But the messages were too precise, too artfully composed. One read, "Your escape awaits at Solstice Resort. Check in at 9 p.m. Prepare for an unforgettable evening." Another followed, "Decadence and desire await you at La Belle Soirée. Dress to impress, midnight rendezvous confirmed." I stared at the screen in disbelief, my heart fluttering as I reread the texts. I had no recollection of booking a getaway, and yet these notifications confirmed an itinerary that promised luxury, secrecy, and a break from the life I had so meticulously curated. That very moment, as the cool autumn wind rattled the window panes and the city lights glimmered in the distance, I realized that this was my chance to escape the confines of my predictable existence. I had spent years content to live a safe, comfortable life, following a routine that left little room for passion or spontaneity. But now, here was an invitation, one that whispered of hidden pleasures, of decadent dinners under the stars, and of an unknown world where beauty and desire coexisted in perfect harmony. After a moment of intense internal debate, I decided to embrace the unknown. I quickly checked my digital calendar, noting that the confirmed check-in time at Solstice Resort was less than an hour away. With a mixture of apprehension and excitement, I began to prepare for the evening. I rummaged through my wardrobe, searching for an outfit that felt both elegant and daring, a reflection of the new self I yearned to discover. I settled on a deep, midnight blue dress with subtle silver embroidery along the neckline, paired with a lightweight blazer and a pair of strappy heels that added both height and a hint of glamour. As I applied a touch of makeup, I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror and, for the first time in years, truly saw the woman I had become, a woman ready to take risks, to step into a realm where the ordinary was left behind. Before leaving, I couldn't shake the feeling of anticipation mingled with nervous energy. My phone continued to buzz with additional confirmations, a digital receipt for a spa service at the resort, a subtle reminder about the dinner at La Belle Soirée, and even a hint of a follow-up message promising more surprises later that night. Each notification deepened the mystery, suggesting that this was not a random occurrence, but a meticulously orchestrated escape, a secret adventure planned by an unknown admirer, or perhaps by fate itself. At 8 p.m., I locked the door of my apartment, my pulse quickening as I stepped out into the cool, urban night. The city was alive with possibilities, neon signs flickered along busy streets, and the crisp air carried the faint scent of rain yet to come. I hailed a rideshare, and as the sleek black sedan pulled up, I could hardly contain the mixture of excitement and anxiety pulsing through my veins. I settled into the back seat and set the destination, Solstice Resort. The driver offered a polite nod, and soon we were weaving through city streets, the rhythmic hum of the engine mingling with the quiet music playing softly from the car's speakers. The ride itself felt surreal, a transition from the known to the unknown. I watched as familiar landmarks gradually faded into the background, replaced by the soft glow of residential neighborhoods and, finally, the sprawling greenery that signaled my approach to Solstice Resort. Located on the outskirts of the city, the resort was known for its chic, minimalist design and its reputation as a haven for those seeking both luxury and seclusion. As we pulled up in front of the resort, I marveled at the sight, a modern architectural masterpiece with clean lines, floor-to-ceiling windows, and an understated elegance that promised privacy and opulence. I paid the driver and stepped out into the cool night air, the resort's entrance illuminated by soft, ambient lighting that cast long shadows on the manicured lawn. A discreet valet greeted me with a courteous smile and promptly took my bag. I made my way to the sleek revolving door and stepped inside the lobby, a vast, open space that combined contemporary design with touches of natural elements, like indoor water features and living green walls. The atmosphere was serene, almost otherworldly, as if the resort itself were a sanctuary from the chaotic world outside. At the reception desk, a courteous attendant looked up and, with a knowing smile, confirmed my booking. "Good evening, Ms. Ellis," he said, his voice calm and measured. "Welcome to Solstice Resort. We have your check-in confirmed for tonight. Please, enjoy your stay." I was taken aback, My last name wasn't one I commonly used in professional circles, and yet here it was, recognized by this elegant establishment. It struck me as an eerie yet delightful coincidence, adding yet another layer of mystery to the unfolding adventure. After receiving my room key, a sleek, minimalist card, I took the elevator to the 10th floor. The ride was smooth and silent, the soft chime of the elevator doors marking my ascent to a new world. When the doors opened, I stepped into a corridor lined with modern art and soft, diffused lighting. My room, Suite 1402, awaited at the end of the hall. The door was engraved with the suite number in elegant silver script, and as I inserted the key, I felt as though I were unlocking not just a door, but a new chapter in my life. Inside the suite, I was greeted by an expansive space that exuded both luxury and comfort. The decor was modern yet warm, a blend of crisp white furnishings, deep blue accents, and natural textures that created a serene ambience. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered a panoramic view of the city's twinkling lights far below, while the soft hum of ambient music provided a soothing backdrop. I placed my bag on a minimalist console table and took a few moments to absorb the room. Every detail, from the plush bedding to the curated art on the walls, whispered promises of indulgence and escape. After a brief rest, my phone buzzed once more, delivering the next message, an invitation for a decadent dinner at La Belle Soirée. The text read, "Prepare for an intimate dinner at La Belle Soirée. Your unknown admirer awaits your presence at 12:30 a.m. Embrace the night." I felt a shiver of anticipation ripple through me. I quickly changed into a fresh outfit, this time, a form-fitting black dress with a hint of lace that added just enough allure without overwhelming elegance, and headed to the hotel's concierge desk to inquire about transportation to the restaurant. The concierge, a refined man with impeccable manners, confirmed that a ride had already been arranged for me. "Please, follow me," he said quietly, leading me through a series of corridors that exuded understated opulence. We emerged into a discreet waiting area where a sleek car awaited. I climbed in, and the vehicle whisked me away into the night, the city's energy pulsating in the distance. The ride to La Belle Soirée was a meditative journey, a quiet transition from one realm of indulgence to another. As the car navigated through softly lit streets, I contemplated the mysterious forces that had orchestrated this secret escape. Who was this unknown admirer? What did they see in me to arrange such an elaborate evening? The questions swirled in my mind, blending with the excitement of the moment and the promise of a night that was poised to redefine everything I had known. Arriving at the restaurant, I stepped out into a world of hushed glamour. La Belle Soirée was housed in a historic building that had been carefully restored to preserve its old-world charm, while incorporating modern, luxurious touches. The entrance was marked by a beautifully lit archway and a discreet sign in elegant script. I took a deep breath and stepped inside. The dining room was a sanctuary of refined intimacy, a space filled with candlelit tables, soft classical music, and an air of exclusivity that made every guest feel as though they were part of a secret society. A graceful hostess greeted me, her smile both inviting and mysterious. "Welcome to La Belle Soirée," she said softly. "Your table is prepared, and your admirer will join you shortly." I was led to a table in a quiet corner of the room, its setting meticulously arranged with fine china, gleaming silverware, and a single bouquet of deep red roses. As I took my seat, I couldn't help but notice the gentle murmurs of conversation and the soft clink of glass that punctuated the space. It was as if the room were suspended in time, holding its breath in anticipation of what was to come. Minutes later, as the soft strains of a piano mingled with the murmur of voices, a man appeared at my table. He was impeccably dressed, a tailored suit, a crisp white shirt, and a tie that hinted at an understated elegance. His eyes were warm and inquisitive, and when he smiled, it was with the kind of sincerity that put me immediately at ease. "Good evening," he said in a calm, confident tone. "I'm Gabriel." There was no rush in his greeting, his presence was measured and deliberate, as though every moment was savored rather than rushed. I found myself drawn to him instantly, a magnetic pull that defied the uncertainty of his unknown origins. Gabriel's conversation was gentle, laced with stories of secret escapes, unexpected adventures, and the subtle beauty of living in the moment. He spoke with a quiet passion about the art of embracing life's unpredictability and the courage required to step away from the familiar. As we shared the first course, a delicate amuse-bouche of truffle risotto served in an elegant porcelain dish, I felt a growing connection. Each bite was a revelation, a carefully crafted symphony of flavors that spoke of hidden talents and secret passions. In his eyes, I saw not only warmth and genuine curiosity but also a hint of wistfulness, as if he, too, had once been confined by a life that left little room for adventure. Throughout the sumptuous dinner, Gabriel and I traded confidences in hushed tones, our conversation meandering from personal revelations to light-hearted anecdotes. I learned that he was an artist at heart, a man who had long yearned to break free from the constraints of a conventional existence, much like myself. He confessed that sometimes the most transformative moments came unexpectedly, a chance meeting here, a discreet invitation there, moments that shattered the monotony of daily life and opened the door to a world of infinite possibility. His words resonated with me deeply, stirring a longing that I had suppressed for years. As the evening progressed, each course of the meal felt like a step further into a realm where time lost its rigid structure. The conversation deepened, the soft glow of candlelight cast delicate shadows that danced across our faces, highlighting every expression of wonder and vulnerability. With every shared smile, every gentle touch of our hands as we passed a dish, I felt a profound sense of liberation, an awareness that I was finally experiencing life in its fullest, most vivid form. When the final course, a decadent dessert of dark chocolate mousse crowned with a sprinkle of sea salt, was served, Gabriel leaned in and, with a tender sincerity in his voice, said, "Tonight, I hope you realize that life is too fleeting to be lived in the shadows of fear and routine. Embrace the magic of the unknown, and never let it go." His words, simple yet profound, lingered in the air like a benediction. I reached across the table, and for a brief, breathtaking moment, our hands met, a silent promise that we both had chosen to step into the extraordinary. After dinner, as the soft strains of the piano gave way to a gentle murmur, the hostess approached with a discreet note for me, "Your night continues. Please join us at the moonlit terrace for a private after-dinner celebration." I felt my heart race anew. The moonlit terrace was said to be a secluded area of the restaurant where the city's lights mingled with the gentle glow of the moon, a place for whispered secrets and quiet, intimate moments. Gabriel walked with me to the exit, and we hailed a rideshare together. As we drove through the hushed, rain-washed streets, the conversation between us became softer, more reflective. I felt a deep connection, a promise of more shared adventures, though the mystery of our encounter still hung in the air like an unresolved chord. By the time we arrived at the moonlit terrace, the atmosphere was otherworldly. Soft lanterns cast a warm, inviting glow over a secluded patio adorned with plush seating and a central fountain that sparkled under the night sky. A small group of guests had gathered for a quiet celebration, a subtle after-dinner ritual of laughter, soft music, and the tender exchange of secrets. I took a seat beside Gabriel, and as we sipped on a delicate aperitif, the cool night air and the rhythmic trickle of water combined to create a sense of tranquility that felt both liberating and transformative. In the quiet of that intimate gathering, I realized that the app notifications which had confirmed my secret escape to this chic resort and an intimate, decadent dinner were not random. They were a call, a summons to rediscover a part of myself that had long been hidden behind the facade of routine and security. That night, as I shared quiet laughter and tender moments with Gabriel and the others, I felt an unspoken promise that I had finally stepped onto a path of passionate, unbridled living. When the night finally drew to a close, and I returned to my suite at Solstice Resort with my heart still alight with possibilities, I sat by the floor-to-ceiling window and looked out at the city, now transformed into a tapestry of twinkling lights and silent dreams. I opened my journal and began to write feverishly, capturing every nuance of the evening, the secret texts, the thrill of the clandestine dinner, the gentle touch of Gabriel's hand, and the lingering echo of whispered promises in the cool night air. As the first light of dawn crept through the window, I knew that I had been forever changed. The night's magic had unraveled the tightly wound threads of my ordinary existence, replacing them with a vibrant tapestry of passion, mystery, and intimate connection. I resolved that from that moment on, I would no longer let the safe confines of routine dictate my life. Instead, I would welcome each new secret invitation with an open heart, knowing that every unexpected journey held the promise of transformation and the chance to live authentically. Now, as I close this chapter of my secret escape, I am filled with a profound gratitude for the night that shattered my monotony and unveiled a world of decadent indulgence and whispered romance. I carry with me the memory of that evening, a memory that will continue to guide me as I step boldly into each new day, ever watchful for the next message that beckons me to embrace the unknown. I awoke the next morning as if emerging from a vivid dream, every detail of the previous night still playing in slow motion behind my closed eyes. The lingering traces of soft candlelight and hushed laughter mingled with the first pale rays of dawn, while the quiet hum of the city outside my window reminded me that reality had not vanished, it had simply become more profound. I sat up slowly, feeling the weight of my thoughts as I recalled the extraordinary events, the mysterious text that had exposed my secret escape to Solstice Resort, the luxurious check-in that felt like an invitation to leave behind a life of predictable routine, and the intimate, decadent dinner at La Belle Soirée that had sparked a connection with Gabriel, a connection that had awakened a part of me I'd long suppressed. As I lingered in the soft morning light, I reviewed the digital remnants of that enchanted evening on my phone, the original notification, the subtle follow-up messages, and the confirmation text that had sealed my fate. I could almost see the words glowing on the screen as if they were written in luminescent ink, a gentle call to abandon the ordinary and embrace a world of passion, elegance, and mystery. My heart still pounded with the echoes of Gabriel's tender words and the memory of his warm, genuine smile. Even now, as I sat in the serene quiet of my suite, I could feel that ineffable energy pulsing in my veins, the promise of something extraordinary that I was only just beginning to understand. I decided to step outside and walk along the resort's manicured gardens before the day fully broke. The air was cool and fragrant with the scent of dew and blooming night jasmine. As I strolled along the winding pathways, I noticed how the world around me seemed charged with an almost imperceptible magic. Every leaf, every stone, every glimmer of light reminded me that life was composed of moments both grand and subtle, and that if I were willing to open my heart, I could experience both with unbridled passion. At the garden's edge, I found a secluded bench under a towering oak, and I sat for a long while simply watching the interplay of light and shadow as the day gradually overtook the remnants of night. In that stillness, I began to reflect on how drastically my life had changed over the course of just one night. I remembered the rush of adrenaline as I boarded that sleek, black rideshare, the surreal sensation of ascending in an elevator that carried me to a world far removed from my daily existence, and the soft murmur of hushed conversations in a dining room where every detail, from the delicate clink of fine china to the whispered encouragements of my new acquaintances, spoke of hidden dreams and untold stories. The memory of Gabriel and his gentle declaration, "Tonight, I hope you realize that life is too fleeting to be lived in the shadows of fear and routine," still resonated in my ears. It was as though his words had awakened a dormant part of me that craved the thrill of the unknown. In the days since, I had begun to question the life I had led for so long, the safe, repetitive existence that had, at times, felt like a carefully constructed prison. Now, everything seemed to shimmer with possibility, each small moment a stepping stone toward the extraordinary. Before I knew it, my phone buzzed again. This time, it was an encrypted text that read, "Your journey does not end here. Tonight, at 7:30 p.m., join us for a private preview of The Awakening at the Aurora Gallery. Dress elegantly. Let your heart lead you." I paused, considering the message with a mix of excitement and cautious wonder. The Awakening. The phrase alone evoked images of renewal, rebirth, and the gradual unveiling of hidden truths. I felt that I was being invited not only to witness a curated artistic experience but also to continue the journey of self-discovery that had been ignited by that secret escape. With deliberate care, I spent the rest of the day preparing for this next encounter. I chose a sleek, silver-gray gown that fell gracefully around me, its subtle shimmer reminiscent of moonlight on water. I paired it with understated jewelry, a delicate silver bracelet and a pair of earrings that caught the light with every movement. As I styled my hair in soft waves and applied a touch of luminous makeup, I felt as if I were donning not just an outfit, but an armor of self-assurance. The memory of that previous night's vulnerability had taught me that true strength was found in openness, in the willingness to risk one's heart for the sake of authenticity. At precisely 7:30 p.m., I hailed a rideshare to take me to the Aurora Gallery. The journey felt different now. It was as if I were no longer simply a passenger, but an active participant in my own story. The driver navigated through the city's winding streets with quiet efficiency, and as I looked out at the passing scenery, the glow of street lamps, the gentle sway of trees in the evening breeze, I allowed myself to imagine all the possibilities that awaited me. I recalled the whispered assurances of my secret escape, the taste of decadent cuisine, the warmth of a kindred soul's touch, and I felt an unshakable certainty that every new invitation was a chance to redefine my own destiny. When I arrived at the Aurora Gallery, I was struck by its understated beauty. Housed in a renovated warehouse that blended industrial charm with artistic flair, the gallery's exterior was adorned with subtle, modern designs. Large, arched windows allowed a soft, ambient light to spill out onto the street, and a modest sign bearing the gallery's name glowed gently in the dusk. I stepped inside and was immediately enveloped by an atmosphere that was both contemplative and vibrant. The main hall was spacious and filled with art installations that spoke of transformation and rebirth, immersive pieces that invited viewers to step into a new way of seeing the world. I checked in at the reception desk, where a friendly attendant greeted me with a warm smile and a nod of approval. "Welcome," she said, We're delighted you could join us this evening. I was then directed to a private lounge area where a select group of guests were gathered. The room was intimate, with plush seating arranged in small clusters and soft, ambient lighting that cast gentle shadows across the faces of those present. The conversation here was a quiet hum of shared anticipation, a tapestry of voices discussing art, life, and the quiet courage it took to embrace change. In that lounge, I met a woman named Claire, a writer with a quiet, steady gaze and an air of introspection that resonated deeply with me. Over glasses of a finely aged rosé, Claire spoke of her own journey, a long, winding road filled with moments of both heartache and unexpected beauty. I once lived a life of safe choices and muted dreams, she said softly, until I learned that every secret encounter is a chance to rediscover who you truly are. It's in the quiet spaces between the known and the unknown that the magic of life is born. Her words echoed the sentiments that had been kindling within me ever since that first cryptic text, and I felt a surge of gratitude for having found a kindred spirit among the many souls drawn to these secret spaces. As the evening unfolded, the gallery presented a private preview of The Awakening, a multimedia installation that combined video projections, sculptural elements, and ambient soundscapes designed to evoke the myriad emotions of transformation. I wandered through the exhibition, captivated by the interplay of light, movement, and emotion. One installation, in particular, caught my eye, a series of translucent screens that displayed shifting images of nature, gossamer threads of mist, the subtle play of light on water, and the ephemeral beauty of falling leaves. The experience was almost meditative, each image a reminder that life was in constant flux, and that every moment, no matter how fleeting, carried the potential for rebirth. After the preview, the gallery's atmosphere shifted subtly into a space of shared reflection. Guests gathered in quiet clusters, discussing the artwork with a reverence that felt almost sacred. I found myself drawn back to the private lounge, where Claire and I resumed our conversation. We discussed the delicate balance between risk and security, and the importance of embracing both the beauty and the pain that come with opening one's heart. I told her of my secret escape, the series of mysterious texts, the luxurious check-in, the decadent dinner with Gabriel, and she listened with empathetic intensity, her eyes reflecting an understanding that was both profound and unspoken. It's as if, Claire murmured, each secret invitation is a stepping stone towards reclaiming a part of us that we thought was lost. Every encounter, every whispered promise, is a call to live with passion and authenticity. Her words, gentle and resolute, solidified the truth that I had begun to embrace, that life's richest experiences often lie just beyond the edge of our comfort zones. By the time the evening began to wane and the gallery's soft lights dimmed in preparation for closing, I felt a deep sense of connection, to the art, to the people I had met, and most of all, to myself. I exchanged heartfelt goodbyes with Claire and the others, each farewell carrying the unspoken promise that this was not the end, but merely another chapter in an ongoing journey of transformation. As I stepped back out into the cool night, I hailed a rideshare to return to Solstice Resort. During the drive, the city's lights blurred into a mosaic of color, and I allowed my mind to replay the evening's moments, the quiet intensity of shared conversations, the hypnotic beauty of art that mirrored the rhythms of my soul, and the gentle reassurance that each secret invitation was a call to embrace life's full spectrum. Back in my suite, I sat by the floor-to-ceiling window and looked out over the sleeping city, its twinkling lights a silent testament to the infinite possibilities that lay in wait. I opened my journal once again and began to write, capturing the emotions of the night in careful, deliberate prose. Every line was a declaration of newfound courage, a promise that I would continue to heed the call of the unknown, to seek out the hidden invitations that would lead me further down the path of self-discovery and passionate living. In the quiet hours before dawn, as the first hints of light gently crept over the horizon, I reflected on how far I had come in just a few short days. The cryptic text that had first exposed my secret escape to a chic resort and an intimate, decadent dinner had served as a catalyst, an unexpected spark that ignited a flame of transformation within me. I had tasted luxury and mystery, I had shared moments of profound vulnerability and found beauty in the raw, unfiltered expression of life. I had met Gabriel, whose tender words had opened a door to emotion, and I had connected with others whose stories resonated with my own hidden dreams. Now, as I prepared to drift into a peaceful sleep, I knew that this journey was far from over. The world was vast, filled with secret rendezvous and unexpected adventures waiting to be discovered by those brave enough to listen to the whispers of their hearts. Every app notification, every discreet text, was a reminder that the extraordinary was always within reach if I only dared to step beyond the safe confines of routine. I closed my journal, the ink of my thoughts still wet on the pages, and whispered a quiet promise to myself, to remain ever vigilant for the next call to adventure, to embrace each secret invitation with an open heart, and to let the beauty of the unknown guide me toward a future rich with passion, art, and genuine connection. In that tender, fragile moment before sleep, I allowed my mind to wander to the possibilities of tomorrow, a tomorrow where every discreet message, every whispered secret, might unveil yet another world, another chance to rediscover who I truly am. And as I closed my eyes, I felt a profound gratitude for the journey I had begun, a journey that promised to transform my life one clandestine, exquisite moment at a time.